Hello, welcome to today's episode of Messy Magic. I'm your host, Dee Guy, and today is day 9 of PODMAS, my daily podcast episode during December leading up to Christmas. And today I want to talk a little bit about Christmas itself and the dilemma of the traditions that we have and how they can be damaging for Mother Earth and the beautiful environment that sustains us. And this is top of mind for me because I have a wonderful client that I write, that I do copywriting for, and I've just actually written a blog article for them all around having a sustainable Christmas. And I've actually had more than, maybe at least 2 or 3 clients over the years that I have written these types of blog articles for. So if anyone knows anything about it, it should be me because I've done the research. But let me tell you, it's not as easy to walk the talk as some people would have you believe. It's a very real struggle for me. I love to be as environmentally friendly as possible in all areas of my life, and looking after our planet is something that is very close to home and to my heart. But that doesn't mean that it's easy or simple to do, and it also doesn't mean that I don't give in to temptation occasionally. So what I wanted to do in this episode was, first of all, just to put that out there and say, there are tons of ideas for having a more planet-friendly Christmas and holiday season. And I can tell you that because I've researched it, and that's very easy to look up. If you are interested, you can search online, how to have a sustainable Christmas. And you will find so many blog articles and research articles. It's really fabulous. So there's lots of information, but I also wanted to mention that, to acknowledge that it's not always easy to do, even when you have the information, because sometimes there are certain pressures that we succumb to at this time of the year. So I think as long as we all try our best, as long as we inform ourselves and then take whatever steps we can, I think that's something for all of us to aspire to. And one of the things that occurred to me over the last few days, like a way for me to frame it for myself to perhaps be a little bit more productive and helpful, is to think about what Mother Earth would say or have me do if I'm considering a decision or trying to decide whether to buy something, whether to gift something, whether to do something. If the earth could speak, what would she suggest? And I find that really a really interesting way of looking at it. And so that's what I'm going to do. I invite you to do the same thing if that feels good for you. But I also just wanted to mention a couple of things that I am doing or am trying to do this season. And this has been something that I've been trying to do for a number of years and kind of getting more and more into it. This year, I think I'm finding it a bit more challenging because our little boy is almost 5 and he is very excited about Christmas and Santa and the elves, and it's that season of life for us and for him, and it's really exciting to be a part of that with him. So it's kind of difficult to, do things like not buy crappy plastic toys because it actually makes him really excited to receive and play with that kind of thing. But it also goes against my values in some respects to do that, depending on what it is that he's enjoying. So that's why I think this year feels a little bit more challenging to me than it has been in the past. But yeah, so a couple of things that I'm trying to do or am doing this year. First one is, and this is something I've been doing for a while as well, is resisting buying plastic decorations, especially like Christmas tree decorations and tinsel and things that don't break down. I have used the same tree, it must be coming up to 10 years, probably even longer, I would say, in terms like the Christmas tree and the decorations that we have on the tree. Sometimes I look at it and think it needs an overhaul, and other times I look at it and think that's really cute because I've had most of those decorations for a really long time and we're kind of slowly adding to them. I like to get a new Christmas decoration when we go on a trip somewhere. Like, we've been to some really beautiful locations. I've been really lucky to do some great traveling and have picked up a Christmas decoration here and there along the way. And so we have decorations on the tree that are from all over the world, which is really special to me. Our little boy is also now, making Christmas decorations. The last few years he's made a new decoration each year so that they're being added to the tree. I've still got some from when I was a kid. So they're very special to me. And then the other new ones that I've bought over the years have been usually from an op shop. And that was another one of the things I wanted to mention, was that I am trying to buy from op shops wherever possible. We like to donate to op shops when there's something that we no longer can use, but it's usable by somebody else. We like to give it to the op shop, but it means that I also want to purchase from the op shops too, because you can't just expect to give all your old stuff to the op shop and then overload them, if that makes sense. Like, they have to have someone to give it to or to sell it to. So I see that as a way of supporting op shops too. So I did buy a couple of new Christmas decorations from an op shop the other day. I was looking in there yesterday for toys for my little boy as well, but they didn't really have any, which is fine. But op shopping is another way to be planet friendly at Christmas time. Something that I'm also doing at the moment, being that it's also only the 9th of December, I'm starting to think about what we're going to be eating Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. We're having a very small Christmas this year, so it's not going to be a lot of food. But it is easy to over-cater, I think, at Christmas time, because we get so excited and we want to have a really good time and we want to celebrate with food and drink and stuff. And this year and every year, meal planning can be a really powerful way of minimizing the food waste and also thinking about where the food comes from. So I've been starting to think about a Christmas ham lately, and now I don't eat meat, I don't eat ham, but like our family would. So if I'm going to put on Christmas lunch, this is potentially a whole other episode, but I'm thinking about if I was to do a ham, like how I would source that ham. Because if you're organised far enough in advance, you can source ethical, sustainable, local farmers rather than the typical supermarket source. So the jury is still out for me on whether I'm going to organise a ham. I really personally struggle with the idea of eating it, and I don't know that I could buy one. To be completely honest, but I'm thinking about it. And if I do organise one, it's going to be as ethical as possible. But you could apply that to any food that you buy. And I think buying as locally as possible as well is another really good way of minimising food miles, as well as supporting your local producers. And some producers take advance orders. So again, if you can plan in advance, that can, not only do you get organised, but you can also support local producers and make sure that the food that you're getting is coming from as close to you as possible, because the food industry and agriculture are major contributors to climate change. So wherever you can buy locally and buy in season and plan your menu in advance, that's going to be a really good way of having a planet-friendly Christmas. And then also, in line with that is actually making sure that whatever leftovers you have are used. So like being really strategic about what meals you have after the main meals on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, and making sure that you're using those leftovers or freezing them or whatever it might be. I'm doing my best, as I mentioned at the start, to resist buying crappy gifts. And this includes not only my immediate family, but anybody else that I am buying for, and trying to not buy something for the sake of buying something or giving something, if that makes sense. I'd rather get something that is like mindful and intentional and something that means something, rather than buying a gift just for the sake of giving a gift. For example, I think for my little one's teachers at daycare, who I don't think listen to this podcast, so it's not going to be a spoiler. But I think that I might get together with my kiddo on the weekend, and we might make some cookies and maybe some tomato relish or onion relish or something like that, and give them handmade gifts, which hopefully will be appreciated. I don't know, but I don't want to go out and buy something for them that I don't know if they'll like it. They might not, they might not get any value from it, and it costs us money and it costs resources and all of that stuff. So that's just one idea that I've got. And I think buying experiences is another really, really good idea as well, because it doesn't take any resources to produce an experience, like, I don't know, movie tickets or a gift voucher for a local restaurant or theme park tickets. But so not only does it not take resources, but it also, like, if you go with them to that experience, it's a way for you to spend time together, which is really nice. And the last point that I had was wrapping, because it's a little known fact that a lot of Christmas wrap, if it has foil in it, foil decoration within the wrap, it can't be recycled. So the more you can use just plain paper, or like paper that doesn't have foil decoration on it, that can be recycled. But then there's also cloth. There's lots of reusable cloth wrapping now as well. And so I'm going to we've got brown paper, like we've had brown paper in our cupboard for years. So you can make it look really cute, just on its own, or like add some string or some twine to wrap it up. You can even like put maybe not stickers, I don't know if they can be recycled. Hold that thought. But you could like draw on it, or have the kids decorate it, paint it, whatever it might be, to make it a bit more kind of handmade and rustic and unique, really. So I know this has been a bit of a whirlwind episode. I've talked very fast and I've said a lot of things. So I hope some of it has landed. I hope that at the end of the day, for this particular episode, I hope the message that gets through is that it would be great if we could all do our best to minimise our impact on the planet at this time of the year. And also, as long as we do our best, then that can be enough. It's not possible for everybody to be 100% perfect. And I think that that's unrealistic and that's unfair to set that expectation. And it's stressful, to be frank. So let's just do our best. Let's give ourselves compassion, but let's also think about what the planet would say if it could talk when we're buying things and researching things and making decisions. And hopefully we'll all have a very relaxing, very love-filled, very connected holiday season. At least that's what I'm hoping for our family and for yours. So I hope this has been helpful. I'll be back with you tomorrow. And so for the rest of the day today, have a magical day.